Hello, my name is John, and today we'll be reading The Bernie Sanders Dynasty, the political dynasty no one in America asked for, by Daniel Greenfield on Front Page Magazine, February 27, 2018. Daniel Greenfield is a journalist at the Freedom Center and is a New York writer focusing on radical Islam. Forget the Clintons and the Bushes. There's a new political dynasty, the Sanders. Bernie may have been born a few months before Pearl Harbor, but the socialist proponent of the estate tax is trying to leave an untaxable inheritance to his next of kin, the inheritance of political power. It never fails. Give a socialist power, and he becomes a monarchist and founds his own dynasty. Levi Sanders, Bernie's son, wants to run for Congress in New Hampshire on his dad's old inherited platform of free health care and free college. While Bernie claims to be an independent, Levi has been consulting with him about his potential race. Levi doesn't actually live in the district, but Hillary Clinton didn't really live in New York until she decided to run for the Senate. What matters is that, like Hillary, the Sanders scion has a right last name. And Bernie's stepdaughter is running for his old job as mayor of Burlington. Karina Driscoll, the daughter of Bernie's wife, Jane Sanders, will run as an independent. It's an ironic designation considering that running for your stepdad's old job is about as independent as Jeb Bush and Chelsea Clinton. Her office is 2 doors down from her mom's Sanders Institute operation. Our Revolution, Bernie's dark money fake social welfare organization, has endorsed her and sent out a fundraiser email for her. People for Bernie also endorsed Karina. Her brother, who runs the Sanders Institute, used his Twitter account to promote her campaign. She's even reusing her stepdad's slogan. Bernie's stepdaughter declares, "It is time to bring the people back to the table, as long as they're part of the Sanders clan." Karina promises to foster the best schools and cites her experience running the Vermont Woodworking School. That's bad news for Burlington schools, just as it was for Burlington College. Burlington College was raided by the Sanders clan. Jane Sanders, Bernie's wife, is under FBI investigation for allegedly lying about the school's finances on a bank loan application. The debt broke the college, which had to shut down under the crushing burden of the loan, while Jane walked away with $200,000. Some call it federal loan fraud, but socialists call it wealth redistribution. Bernie and Jane have hired Representative Cold Cash Jefferson's lawyer while hoping he keeps her from following Cold Cash to a cold cell. Karina did pretty well during her mother's mismanagement of Burlington College. The Vermont Woodworking School got $500,000 from Burlington College. It was among the college's most expensive programs, with a budget over 10% that of Burlington. That's some rather pricey woodworking. Why did a struggling college need to spend all that money on a woodworking school? This was a sweetheart deal for Karina Driscoll, Jane Sanders' daughter. Carol Moore, Burlington's final president, said she accused Karina's school of gouging the college. Will the wonders of crony socialism never cease? Bernie had paid his wife $80,000 for consulting and ad placement in his congressional campaign. What's her expertise in ad placement? Jane was a community organizer with a degree in social work who married Bernie and honeymooned with him in the USSR. The degree was from Goddard College, a holistic alternative school where students design their own curriculum. 16 years later, Sanders was its new provost. What qualified her for the job? The Burlington Free Press stated that she had progressive credentials above question. Karina's progressive credentials are also above question. That's why she got $65,000 from the campaign. Mother and daughter had teamed up for a series of ad-buying firms, including Sanders and Driscoll Leadership Strategies, which listed 2 of Jane's kids and handled ads for her husband's campaign. These days, Jane Sanders has branched out into founding the Sanders Institute, whose mission is to revitalize democracy by actively engaging individuals, as long as those individuals are members of the Sanders family. The executive director of the Sanders Institute is Dave Driscoll, Karina's brother and Jane's son. Before that, Dave had been working at Burton Snowboards. When Mayor Bill de Blasio, the progressive icon also under FBI investigation, whose donors have pleaded guilty to trying to bribe him, was sworn in by Bernie, observers noted that the socialist senator was wearing a $689 down jacket. That's a pricey piece of gear for the leftists who once ranted that you don't necessarily need a choice of 23 underarm spray deodorants or of 18 different pairs of sneakers when children are hungry in this country. But Bernie needs a $689 jacket and a $600,000 summer home. And the jacket was a Burton parka. Burton's CEO sent its employees to the anti-Trump Women's March, and 24 of them volunteered for Bernie's campaign. Burton's bosses are among Vermont's most prominent political donors, and the beneficiaries include Bernie. During the 2016 race, $82 million poured through Old Town Media, a mysterious company run by 2 of Jane's old pals that got most of its business from Bernie. And the Bernie campaign put no caps on commissions, so the sky was the limit. The more Bernie campaigned, the more money they made. Throughout all this, Bernie avoided disclosing his personal finances by filing for 2 extensions and then refusing to actually make the information public. Since then, he's come into a $600,000 summer home. Wall Street and the billionaire class has rigged the rules to redistribute wealth and income to the wealthiest and most powerful people, Bernie still declares. Bernie knows all about rigging the rules, and now the Sanders dynasty can inherit his power. The old leftist critique is that the wealthy hoard money, power, and privilege, and then pass it on to their kids. The most vocal critic of wealth is the newly minted socialist one-percenter whose stepdaughter seeks to inherit his old job and whose son wants to run for Congress. And the Bernie machine has the connections to make it all happen while demanding a higher death tax on the 1%. But don't blame Bernie. He's doing what all lefties do. When Bill Clinton first ran, Democratic voters thought they were voting for a fresh new voice who would challenge establishment politics, not create a political dynasty. It took a generation to get rid of them. By then they had stolen everything from the White House furniture to the nation's uranium. And the Clintons are pikers compared to the Kennedys, who 65 years later inflicted Representative Joe Kennedy III on us. At this rate, it'll outlast some English royal dynasties. A generation from now, descendants of the Sanders clan and Step clan will be clogging up public offices and wetting their beaks across Vermont. That's how the Bernie Revolution will end. The left claims that it's on the right side of history, but it never actually goes anywhere. Instead, it plays out the doom cycle of Animal Farm's bitterly satirical rendering of Soviet history. And when all is said and done, no one can tell the socialist pigs from the crony capitalist pigs. Just ask the Sanders porkers. There's an old Soviet anecdote about Brezhnev, the Soviet boss, showing off his wealth to his family. But Leonya, his concerned mother, asked, "What will you do if the communists return to power?" Bernie Sanders is now a 1%er with 3 homes and a political dynasty. His campaign plane was a mostly empty 767 serving lobster sliders, chocolate ganache, fine cheeses, and white wine. But what will he do if the socialists come to power? This video is a production of the School of the White Crane. My name is John Brooker, and you could reach me through commentary on this video or through my Gmail listed here. Please share this video with family and friends and on social media. May God richly bless you.